issue?
It is no crime for a man to steal bread when he's hungry, and I still need to eat today.
Okay. I mean, morally questionable, but okay. And
Jean
Connor,
Valjean has an
where do
argument.
you fall? Yes.
Adris has a good idea that this person might actually know the Chevronese language. So I'm willing to let him have his food and see if we can't rouse him somehow.
Okay. If you like this, I think it's going to be you and Adris operating solo at this point, because as we've established, Anushka has booked it, and it sounds like the doctor is probably waddling after her with arms full of rations. But you can still try to wake him, and you can still try to explain the situation. You do have nobility, which must count for something even out in this barren wasteland, but who knows? So, Adris and Connor, who wants to wake the bear? That's the question.
Let's let Connor do it in case he wakes up swinging.
Okay. Connor, it takes a moment of concerted energy to try to rouse this bear. But eventually you break it out of its deep slumber. It blinks wearily and stares over at you. And as it registers what it is that it is seeing, it jumps back and presses itself up against the wall in its full height. It's kind of a ridiculous image because this bear is quite large. Again, probably only someone like Harmon would really be a good comparison or would rival this bear's size and girth. It is incredibly fat, but it backs up and it barks at you in a foreign language. It says something, but it's not a word you recognize.
Parlez-vous Calabrese?
What? Calabrese? Yes. Yes, I speak. Yes. Who are you? Why have you come here?
I am Connor Lever de Ecrevis. What brought us here is of no import, but in the course of our travels, we have found a Chevronese child we are trying to return to his tribe. We were hoping that you being in this area and tired as they are, that you may be able to help us communicate with the boy.
The bear, as you're saying this, his large brows knit together in a look of confusion, of weary, sleep-deprived confusion. When he speaks, it's hard to tell if he is just incredibly tired and confused or generally slow in the head, slow-witted. But he says, Chevronese, you are Chevronese?
No, I am Avadapor.
You're far from home. What are you doing here? Yeah, again, he seems to be quite confused, but we'll say after some back and forth of you reiterating your point, he grasps the basic concept and he tells you, I have trade with the Chevronese before. I speak some of their language, yes. But I see no reason to kowtow to an avoirdupois noble so deep here in the mountains, as you're still trespassing on my property.
Is there anything I can do to change your mind, friend?
Let's see. He says, I don't need anything. I'm quite comfortable here in my home. I have everything I need, and I don't need to bow to any master, Doloro or Chevronese or avoirdupois, for that matter. He seems to be getting the hang of the language again, but you get the feeling that this guy probably hasn't spoken to anyone in quite a long time.
Who asked you to bow?
Nobles always asking people to bow, no regard for personal freedom.
I didn't ask you to bow. Connor, did you ask him to bow?
No. I only asked him for his help as an equal.
Well, this has left him dumbfounded and at a loss. He's looking back and forth between the two of you, and, well, yeah, he doesn't really know how to process this information. He had kind of pigeonholed you as nobles, and he's never known a nobleman to regard him as an equal before. And after a moment's consideration, he seems rather chuffed, which, if you watch British Baking, you'll know means, proud or happy, and or feeling good about oneself. He says, well, I suppose, yes, out here, it's, my knowledge of tracking. I know a lot about living in these mountains, so I could be very useful, but, well, I don't see what is in it for me, though.
We could barter goods and services for action.
He gnaws on a claw and he says, the Chevronnais are very suspicious of outsiders. They will not want to speak or trade with you. I think your best bet is to leave and go back from where you came.
But we are on a mission from God.
No, we're
A
not.
mission from Dad.
As Connor here told you, we need to return a child to his family. And I don't think we're going to not do that. But we could really use somebody that can speak the language.
This is peculiar, very peculiar. As you see, I have everything I need here. And he gestures over to the spot where his pile of rations was. And when he sees that they're gone, he just, again, there's the slow eyebrow movement of utter confusion. And he looks at a loss, and then he says, I don't suppose you have any food you could share. I seem to have
Oh, do we?
eaten through my winter stores.
Well, I'm sure
I've lost track of time.
if you join us and help us out, we can provide you with food on our way.
Well, that would be good. I am rather hungry, in fact. I suppose that's a suitable arrangement. If you don't mind sharing your food with me, then I could provide some translation for you with the Chevronnais.
Wow, we actually made a friend.
If that sounds good to you, it sounds good to me.
He doesn't extend a paw, but he gives you a nod and he says, call me
Ishmael.
Ishmael. Call me Dow. The people used to call me Ripe Dow, but Dow is fine. And as he says this and opens his mouth, again, there's just a stench coming off of this bear. He's got like mega morning breath. And again, just no regard for real personal cleanliness. As he's moving around now, it's even worse.
A hermit who lives alone in the mountain. Alright, I'll let this go.
Okay, so
he doesn't smell that much worse than these other guys. Do you think the soldiers and the irregulars that Connor and the rest of them pick up are any better?
right, like this is a circumstance of everyone accumulates body odor, especially around travel. But biologically, some people just generally build up more of a stink than other people, and Dow is one such person.
Repeatedly covered in
In gore, that's true. But you don't have that thick fur, that thick fur that really holds in the stink.
Not all of us can be a saint.
Not all of us can smell like potpourri. So, I suppose. Okay, well, Ripe Dow clothes himself in some furs that make him look even more like a lumbering snowdrift,
Bigger,
I guess.
even smellier.
And even smellier. They do nothing to like contain his odor. And I guess the question is, with the rest of the party, who at this point I assume is packing to leave with everything. How do you guys want to introduce Ripe Dow to everyone?
Oh, this is Dow. He's traveling with us.
You don't get to introduce it, Anushka. You left. You stole his food. Left.
Well, after a while, after I heard you guys weren't screaming or something like that, I guess I would come back. I do have good ears.
Okay.
So
yeah.
like I would have to come back and ask, like, wow, so you guys actually made a friend.
Oh, well, hello, Dow. Have you heard the good word of of orthodoxy?
Salud,
Life
Mayor. I
is
think
you can eat as much food as you want.
It occurs to me that we should Dow, you should stand next to this man as long as possible. I think your two things will cancel each other out.
sort of
The
negate.
doctor just slowly taking like sidestep after sidestep. Like, I think I like a comfortable distance from this smell.
Yeah.
Your-
Actually has the smell of the sun's.
Your pleasant odor will negate his personal one.
That's not going to help me.
It's a good right. Doesn't help you. Yeah. Well, yes. Dow protests to say that he doesn't follow any kind of those avoirdupois religions, but he does like eating and drinking. So the sense you get from Dow as you speak to him is that he's really not. He doesn't process things very quickly. So you do kind of. His protestations are interrupted by your speech, and he seems to be considering it.
Ah, see, you're a very smart man. I can tell this right here. But you're just the sort of person who could benefit from this. It's your sort of lifestyle that, of course, Orcomancy is fond of. You'd be a great friend to people all over, if you were to believe.
Doctor,
People
are you not
don't
sure
like
you could
me
be
very
an
much.
ascetic?
I'm sorry?
Doctor, are you sure you would not be an ascetic? I'm probably saying that wrong out of character.
Aesthetic?
Aesthetic.
No, you're right. Well, I mean, he doesn't shun worldly possessions. In fact, he seems to quite enjoy them.
He says, I've made all my own clothes.
That's a old-fashioned statement. I applaud your joie de vivre.
He says that he likes ultimately he likes the sound of this orcomancy thing. He says that he's really not supposed to drink and that it doesn't really agree with him. He does like eating a lot, but the big problem is he also can't read. So the chapbook thing, he's like,
I can read to you while we travel. Isn't that
Oh,
so
boy.
convenient?
All right.
Everyone's
like,
ready to hear this for the 10th time.
We're getting distracted here. If he can talk to the kid, we can ask the kid where he lives and drop him off there.
Right, business.
It could also be that, remember, we don't even understand the kid. Maybe he doesn't even want to come back here.
Yeah, let's go ahead and sit down with the kid. I'll go ahead, give him a gentle pat on the back, and just say, look, see this man? He's big and friendly.
Yeah. The kid looks Dow up and down. Seems a little bit nervous, but eventually they get a conversation. Dow seems to speak Chevernaise with the same lumbering slowness that he speaks Calabrese. But it does seem like the two understand each other. And after a bit of an exchange back and forth, he turns and he says, tells you, well, the boy's name... where is the boy's name? The boy's name is Mer. He apparently, it seems that you all rescued him, from his, I don't know the exact translation, sort of a journey. It's it's a ritual that the youth of the Chevernace will partake in. It proves that they are survivable, I suppose.
Oh, so
What is it?
we interrupted this kid's vision quest, and he didn't even say anything about it.
So perhaps. He seems to think that, if not for you, he would not have made it home. And he's told me that you're in the process of bringing him there. So, is that correct?
Yes, it is. And if it's just up the ridge, then we should be able to get there very soon.
He confers a little bit more. He says, yes, you're actually quite close to the smoke mist territory. That's his tribe. Apparently he is apprehensive of how his tribe will receive him after failing on his journey. He says some stuff back to the kid. He says, I'm not sure myself, but I told him that I think they'll just be happy to have him back. And then he gives sort of like a tugs on the collar kind of motion.
Mm-hmm.
The Chevernace are good hunters and trappers and can be agreeable if you have something they want, but they are not the most kind people in my experience.
I believe the Black Hooves tried to ambush us just down the pass, so, well, I can definitely see why they have that
Well, now I
reputation
feel bad because I feel like we've shattered this kid's confidence by showing up and doing everything for him. On the other hand, I'm glad he's not dead.
Right. I mean, at any point, he could have chosen to just go do something different. I have been, like, literally dragging him by the neck here. He seems to be fond of hanging out with us.
Well, why are we dragging him back to a bunch of people when he show up? They're gonna say, "You loser! You couldn't even do your vision quest."
He does seem to have taken a shine to you, Doctor. He calls you Smelly Monk. But yes.
Very accurate.
He is, yes. He is appreciative for what you've done for him.
And you can't tell him not to call you that.
I know he can't say it in his own words to me yet, but I definitely appreciate it.
Okay, strike your anonymous gift. Just kidding.
Ah,
We'll let this one pass. But yes.
just another name.
Just, I gotta be careful of those names, man. There's pitfalls all over the place.
Oh, I'm the smelly monk now. No.
Okay. So what else? Any other questions for the boy? Now that you have a translator.
Good question.
Oh yeah, where do you live?
Yeah, we confirmed that just now. It's just up the road here.
Just
so we
up
are
the
in the
road.
right
Okay,
place.
well,
We've confirmed
Do you
everything.
want us to take you there? Do you want us to drop you? Like we could just like drop you off, and you could walk the rest of the way, and that way you could deny ever knowing us.
The kid looks nervous. Merrill is his name now. Looks nervous after this is translated. A moment later, Dow will say, "The boy is worried about the Black Hoof tribe. Apparently, they have an old rivalry with Smoke Mist, and he's afraid that if left on his own, they will come and take him. Hostage, I suppose. I don't really know the politics, but this boy is quite concerned about being left alone."
Well, we're
apparently
a PG-13 friendly stream, so let's go with hostage. So,
Sure.
yeah. Well,
Right.
on
So
the
perhaps
other
all the
hand,
better we do escort him to the village then. Even
well,
if we do appear.
if we do, isn't that going to embarrass him?
It's true. It's challenging one way or the other. There's no telling what the Smoke Mist tribe elder will do to him, but perhaps they'll be grateful to have him back rather than in the hands of the Black Hoof. It's really hard to tell.
Right. Seeing him even this small little bit of the journey, if something terrible happens because of the Black Hoof or the Smoke Mist, then at least we will be there for him.
What was he meant to do on this journey of his?
According to what he says, every child that comes of age must survive for 5 days alone in the wilderness. Should they fall to the... He says a word for the furred dinos that you guys were attacked by earlier, or to the elements, then they've proven themselves unworthy of the right to join the tribe.
There's a Greek tradition of this, the like Haman tradition of throwing, live as a wolf, throwing, kids of age into the woods. It's also an explanation of why a bunch of, these places are dangerous, because, you try to go through the mountains and leave your food lying out. One of these random kids who's supposed to go prove himself steals all your crap.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's not that weird. I think it's the kid's choice. If he wants to just, say, hey, I've made friends with a bunch of strangers and they brought me back here. If he doesn't think it's going to embarrass him, I'm willing to see this through. I'm in for a penny and for a pound.
Right. I think all of this does confirm that we should be safe walking up and explaining things without necessarily being immediately accosted. And of course, well, we'll see the child safely home. Oh yeah, name.
old is
Did you ever
he?
actually get a name for the kid?
You did. The name is Merrill.
Yeah.
Meryl.
How old is Merrill?
Merrill, PG-13 stream. Merrill is 14, we'll say.
Yeah. So, okay, so he is a kid.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's still definitely, like, in look, and he looks like a kid. Yeah. There's no question there.
Okay.
Potentially old enough to survive on his own if they had been trained their whole lives for the process of survival, but when you found him, it didn't look like he was doing so well.
No, it did not.
Sometimes they botch.
Indeed. Indeed. Sometimes the dice come up. Okay. So in that case, Dow will basically wait out the night with you guys. Now that you're not actually running, he does not seem like he has put two to two together that you guys took his food. He's grateful that you will share food with him. And in the morning, the storm has passed. There's still some flurries, and the snow has fallen thick on the ground, meaning that trudging through it is going to be a little bit of slow going. But your party has no problem, led by Merrill and Fletcher, locating the upward sloping path to the to the location of the Smoke Mist village.
Is our "you are here" thing on the map still in the relevant place?
Oh yeah, let's update that. At this point, I like that we have made it to Arrow Mountain. We'll put it up there.
And
Okay.
away from the Necromancer Circle.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys, as you, I'll make you roll for it because it's not actually consequential, but suffice it to say that you guys have been spotted by these scouts of the Smoke Mist long before you ever see the village. When you come over the rise, you can see there's a very shallow bowl-like valley. There's a cave entrance set into the side of the mountain, and it would be forgiven if you thought that this was basically just like an open bowl-shaped valley with a few snow dunes in it poking out of just a blanket of freshly fallen snow. But when you look closer, you realize that many of these, what you thought were dunes, are actually cleverly camouflaged tents poking out of the snow. And you can also see signs of foot traffic between them. And as you approach the entrance to this village, you can see that there is a group of leather robe-clad Chevronnais. You've seen them dressed this way before. They look kind of like shambling mounds of fur and leathers with horns protruding from dark hoods. And they seem to have sent a group of 5 of these to come meet you at the gate of this village. And as you approach 2, within, we'll say, medium range, you realize that the one large one in the center seems to be handling a musket. It's hard to tell the exact make of this weapon, but you can tell it is a very big gun.
Dang, they breaking out all the stops here. Then again, several people in heavy armor have also approached.
Yeah. I suppose that as you reach medium range within like conversational distance, there's a tension in the air. The Chevronnais don't make any moves to say or do anything, and it's hard to read their expressions under the large furred hoods that they're wearing. So it seems like they're waiting for you to say something or do something.
I'll try Calabrese first and say, hello! They're here to return this child. If that doesn't work, I'll turn it down and say, like, you tell them.
Yeah, they don't respond to the Calabrese, and Dow, well, he seems kind of nervous as well in this circumstance, but he will stutter out what seems to be some kind of greeting in Chevronnais, and there is a short barked exchange, and then he turns back to you and says, they want to know, they want to know who you are and what you intend to do with their lost kid. And he points a talon to Merrill.
I am a humble doctor, and this is a noble of the Avoirdupois, and a noble of Triskellion, and we are here to return the child safe and sound to their original home. We have traveled.
Okay.
Yeah, we've traveled a far way to make it this far.
Really, the kid's been escorting us. We've been totally helpless without him. It's all him.
It's hard to tell exactly how much of the nuance of what you're saying is being conveyed by Dow, but they seem to understand the short sentences he is telling them. You can hear a baying of discontent or of scorn at the mention of your names and titles, so they're not fans of outsiders. That seems to hold. But they do confer after.
I'm sorry. Pause a moment to take that in. The baying of scorn of the Goatman.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. So yes, they're conferring. You become aware that there are these guys, more of these Chevronnais perched on outcroppings of rock around you. You're definitely outnumbered by them, and this is making Dow more and more uneasy. However, they say when they return, they're asking you what you want in exchange for the return of this child.
No, he escorted us. Or should we ask for food? Because we could use some food.
Or free passage. No, it's just one family. They can't do that.
Well, they could give us free passage through their domain, which would still be great.
Which wouldn't give us, no attack rights from everybody else.
Right, I'll ask Dow to say, we demand nothing, but would appreciate some food.
Okay. They come back. How much food? How much food do you think he's worth?
How long did it take us to get here?
Oh, I mean,
several
I was
days.
going to be 3 days. I think it became 4 days.
Yeah, so we only need 4 times. Well, we don't have a Delaney. We're down to what, 10? Actually, with a kid, we're down to 9.
Yeah, 9 after the kid leaves.
All right, we
Right.
need 36 man days. How much do we have?
28.
Oh, for me, heck. We just, I would say 10 days and let's get out of here.
10 days, okay. They return and say, the child's not worth 10 days. Could not even survive on its own during this trial, but we'll let you leave with 6 days of rations.
That is acceptable.
Yeah, I'm going to put on my customer service face.
Yeah. Dow is like, I know this is strange, but it is a custom. They need to conduct trade. It has to seem as an equivalent exchange. They need to give you something to make it seem like they're not receiving favors, I think.
Yeah,
The
I
haggling is
hear
what it
you.
is.
We already knew they were jerks before we came here.
They want to keep their pride intact, and that I can understand.
Right, okay. So yeah, there's an affirmative nod, and Merrill releases your robes there, Doctor, and yeah, he trudges to the snow over to his tribe. His head is not held high, and he seems very nervous, but no one makes a move or anything. And when he reaches them, the tribe elder pulls back her hood, and you can see some sort of family resemblance between the two of them. And she looks him over, and then she barks something, and your bear friend says, well, she says that they will bring you your rations here, and then you must leave, and do not return to their lands without, accompanied by a willing Chevernace guide, I suppose.
Which we'll never find, because there's never a willing Chevernace that leads us.
Yeah, it's a bit of a
Very
catch-22.
But yeah, we will leave in peace.
Okay, then. They do. They bring you out some rations. The rations seem tough, but hearty.
So we are up to about 88 rations now.
Nice.
All right. 88. Wait, no, they only give me 6 man days.
That seems like a lot, yeah.
I just multiplied by 10.
Yeah, well...
right, okay.
Why are you doing that? That's not what a man day is.
82 then.
Man day is per person.
Man days per person. So if they give us 6 man days, that means we could feed 1 person for 6 days or 6 people for 1 day.
Yeah, so if we were at 28, we're now just at 34.
Yeah. 28 plus 6 is 34.
I was assuming that they were giving the group enough rations to go for another several days.
No, they were being jerks.
They're being jerks.
All right, so six rations then. So we're at 30.
They're giving us not enough to go home, and I said, let's just take it and go, because I hate these people.
3 days ought to get us at least somewhere.
I serve with joy. That doesn't mean I have to like these people. I knew bringing the kid back here was going to cause problems, but the kid lacks confidence, and I'm not the kind of person who would abandon a kid in the middle of nowhere, especially the kind of nowhere where he could get killed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we could head west from here and to follow the river south and hit, was it Vosages?
Vasquez.
Assuming that it is actually on the river.
Yeah, it is on the river.
I mean, it would make sense for it to be on the river.
Isn't Vasquez in Doloro control?
Yeah.
Yes.
Aren't they still mad at us?
Well, they're mad at Connor.
Mount Mart is mad at us.
Oh, well, if you're keeping track, Connor's not one of us.
Well, I just mean they're mad at Connor when he shows his colors, that sort of thing.
Oh, we could strike the colors then, I guess.
Yeah.
We could at least from there take the river back down and encounter less resistance.
I mean, I think we could pull that off if you're willing to strike.
I am.
It's just an obvious route with the
and we're
less
short
snow.
on food anyway. And the less time we spend up here, the better, because there's nothing to be gained and everything to be lost.
Yes, we should resupply before we try to go back into the mountains to take care of the necromantic circle.
Is that a goal we have?
Well, it
Currently
is
not. It could
here.
be.
Yeah, it could be. We
Yeah,
could
we
brave the mountains with our limited supplies in an area we are actively at war with to go and fight necromancy for the good of all people. We could sacrifice ourselves like this, everybody. It would be great time.
Again, I can't tell whose purple line that is, but that's what I was thinking too.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
my purple one.
Although I was actually thinking we could follow the river.
If our color is purple, I'll go ahead and choose like what's a good doctor color?
What's a good color for a duck? Blood red.
Red or white.
Yeah, white.
Take the old barber pole approach from back when barbers did a lot of shit.
There we
Mm-hmm.
go. We're going back to white then. Bam, there we
Cool.
go.
But yeah, I mean, if there was any possible way of getting boat travel from Vasages, Vasquez, then possibly just follow the walls of Calabria all the way across.
Mm-hmm.
Because it would be faster than foot.
Yeah, it would be. It's also
Oh,
downriver.
you mean take the river that way? Yeah, that's also a possibility, but that's also maybe the most hostile.
Well, if we're not striking colors, I don't know. I mean, I understand it's the war front, right? But if we're not active
Mhm.
participants, then
Well, once we get back to the monastery, we can make the decision once we're there. We still have to get that far.
we still have to get to Vasquez, whatever.
Yeah. First step first.
I have an odd question.
Yeah.
Does Cosmopolitan let you speak in another culture's accent?
No.
Well, no, but being an asshole does.
Maybe on deceit.
You never done a French accent to mock a French person? That's
All
what being an asshole is. That's what I'm calling an asshole. And anybody can do it.
Gosh, I've been playing Warhammer all day. Every time I hear the Bretonians, I just can't help but try to mimic them.
I mean, it does allow you to avoid faux pas.
Right, it gets rid of the negative penalties. That's what I was saying. That's what I was,
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to be a jerk before about the language thing. It's just, if Cosmopolitan lets you just talk to anybody in every language, then why is there a language gift?
Right.
Right.
It's you'd still have an accent, but you'd at least come off as like polite and
Mhm.
Have you ever tried to speak French?
Yes,
No.
in high
Yep.
school.
Yeah, there's like very specific address forms. And I know like people talk about senpai and chan and that kind of stuff, but there are very specific address forms you're supposed to use in many languages. And
Mhm.
so Cosmopolitan is you know enough to avoid the ones you're not supposed to be using. So
Cool.
you'd still speak with an accent. If you want to hide your accent, then you either need to get really high academics or really high deceit.
Woohoo! I'm going to pretend to be from Harrogate then.
Then there you go. Waiting for that. It's like, wait, I have just deceit. Do you have
Aha!
disguise? We should just
But
buy
you
you
see-
disguise.
Sir Connor, I must tell you, you have the perfect impressionist right here, for I actually possess an accent native to these lands.
It's true.
No one will question it.
Okay.
So I suppose we need to descend back to the village, at which point our current guide can actually go ahead and probably bail and go home, honestly. And our current
Yeah.
guide now is just sort of hanging out with us, I suppose.
It depends on, if you guys decide to go to Vasquez, a lot of your hangers on are going to depart.
Mhm.
If you're leaving the mount, I think Ripe Dow is probably going to take off. He's not going to follow you outside of his home territory. He's going to try to negotiate maybe for some extra food. But
Here's what: 4 rations for 4 days of food.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, no, that'll be good.
That should be enough for you to hunt and find more, I think.
Yeah, he does seem a little bit bummed out that he has to do more hunting, but he knows these mountains. He'll be fine. So
Oh, you're
good
fine.
luck.
What could threaten him out here?
Just keep an eye out for the we never came up with the Bethrock. We never came up with a cool name for our mountain Bethrock, but he basically has one and he uses. He's just like, they're real prevalent in this time of the year. It's it's their mating season and et cetera, et cetera.
You know what, Dow? I've really appreciated all the help, and you didn't ask for much. You were a good company. Here, take a gun.
Oh,
I give
His
him my pistol.
face lights up. Oh my god.
The doctor just kind of looks quizzically. You had a gun this whole time.
Yeah, what about it?
You never pulled it out.
I'm not
Even
sure.
when your life was in danger.
My life has never been in danger.
I disagree, but continue.
Winter would let me know if my life was in danger, and he hasn't given me any signs.
Winter
love
behind
it.
your back just like shakes his head. It's like, no, I wouldn't.
Oh, that's dark. No, I like it. Dow, you can see that he's never received a gift before. Certainly none so nice as this. He's cradling this relatively small gun in
So
his
nice.
big bear paws.
Item
Huh?
of murder.
What?
I said so nice. That's an item of murder.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just
Yeah.
thinking of the hilarious image of like he can't fit his finger into the trigger guard.
It's not that bad, but it's close.
Then again, these are also wheel lock guns. They're unlikely to actually have a guard on the trigger.
Right, it's just like a lever or something, but yeah, he messes with it. He figures it out, basically. It's not loaded, I assume, so he doesn't shoot anyone with it, but yes. You can see that he's
how dark
well
that
enough
would be.
with tears. Yeah, bam! Oh god! You shot Potter! Jesus! No, yeah, so, he doesn't really know what to say. He's a socially awkward guy, but you can tell that he's certainly grateful for your address, and you've made a friend in the Rothos Mountains. 2 now. 1, a powerful, vengeful baron, and 1, a smelly hermit that no one
Yes.
knows.
1 get out of jail free card, and 1 niche to stay in if I ever get lost out here.
I definitely like one
crackpad,
of those more than
futon.
the other.
Hey, one of them talks a language I can't speak, has connections, has a nice warm cave.
Yeah, so okay. I mean, it's a smelly cave, but still. So yeah. All right then. Do you guys mind if we take a break? We went for 3 hours, and I need to look up what Vasquez is like because I need to crack open the gazetteer.
All right.
All right.
You
Be right back.
Cool.